Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Doc Live. Hope you're having a fabulous day already. Hope you had a wonderful week. And for those of you who are joining us live, if you have a question for Dr. Wallach, make sure that you raise your hand. Go to that Zoom menu, look for participants, or what's it called? Reactions. Click on reactions. Under reactions, you'll see raise hand, or if you have participants open, there's three little dots. Click on those three little dots, you'll see that raise hand option. Also, most of all, make sure that you have the chat on. That way you can see all of the valuable information that our co-hosts are putting in that chat. And also you can, make little comments or ask questions in the chat also, but we'd love to have you come on and ask Dr. Wallach live. That's the name of the show, folks, Ask Doc Live. So I am very honored as the host of Ask Doc Live to have with me my co-hosts, Nasima Omar, Jonty McCollier, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and Dr. Judy Reynolds on with us today. My name is Rebecca Dukes-Kozak, and this is Ask Doc Live. Now, if you are on live with us, please, or even if somebody shared this information with you, get back with them. If you have questions about what Dr. Wallach is talking about, if you're interested in getting on a protocol, make sure that you get back with the person that invited you to this program. That might be somebody that you know personally, somebody that you've met through social media. Get back with them. If you received information about this program from a newsletter, you can do a reply to that newsletter, and one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you with information on how you can get what you need to meet your specific needs as well nutritionally. Now, the content of this program is not to take the place of your primary care physician. This information is for educational information only, and the importance of nutrition and supplementation. In this program, we will be sharing these nutritional options that are available that fill the gaps through what Dr. Wallach doesn't like this word, supplementation. He likes essential factors that the body needs, and with what we recommend, it's a formula that is readily available for your body to absorb and utilize. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any disease. And again, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But our good doctor, Dr. Joel Wallach, has been instrumental in suing the FDA with 9 victories, folks. We're going to be talking about some of these victories here on the program today. And these victories have allowed us to be able to share and distribute information on the importance of supplementation that has been proven factual by science in its essential need for vitamins and minerals. So we bring good news as well, that if you've been diagnosed with something that has been claimed to be genetic, you can change that. There's a science called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of how your own personal behaviors and the environment that you surround yourself can change the way that your genes work. So with epigenetics, you're an empowered individual. You can make choices and have more control than you think of your own health journey. And we invite you to feel the difference through the options that are shared on this program. Without further ado, I am so honored as the host of Ask Doc Live to bring to you the one, the only, the amazing Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Ask Doc Live.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, as always, and to your team. Can't thank you enough for your consistency and high quality of what you do. Appreciate it. And before I forget, I want to let everybody know that they've been warning on the news that they have a low inventory of kids' baby formulas right now. And so we have a replacer for that. You can get just regular cow's milk or goat's milk at any grocery store, and then use our kids' toddy and the dosage per weight. It's a liquid multiple for kids. And so you could give it to these kids based on the body weight on the back label, kids' toddy. Use the same dosage for the cherry mints, the liquid plant minerals with 78 minerals in it. And don't forget the EFAs, I'd say one for 25 pounds of body weight of our EFAs. And obviously there's soft gel capsules that you can puncture the capsule and squeeze it into the liquid formula you're going to make for the babies to replace the baby formulas that are on low inventory. Okay. Then I also want to remind everybody that we have, as Rebecca's pointed out, we have done a great job. Kind of beat my chest a little bit here. We've done a great job in getting rid of things like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, lung disease like asthma and bronchitis. We've gotten rid of things like kidney failure and dialysis. We've gotten rid of things like arthritis and osteoporosis. These are all simple nutritional deficiencies diseases. They're not genetic, they're not autoimmune, they're not just related to old age, they're just simple nutritional deficiencies. We have formulas for over 600 different diseases that were said to be genetic. We have formulas to deal with that, okay? Then for specifically, I want to talk about who am I? As Rebecca pointed out, I have my thesis for one of my 3 postdoctoral fellowships. I had 3 postdoctoral fellowships. I have a degree in agriculture. I have a degree in veterinary medicine, naturopathic physician, licensed in several states. Did my university work in naturopathic medicine at NCNM in Portland, Oregon. Okay. And my thesis on 20,000 autopsies, NIH, we're looking at $25 million postdoctoral fellowship. And it was at the University, Washington University in St. Louis, Barnes Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. And my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. Very, very proud of that. I have been awarded also by the United Nations. Now, this is the United Nations. I was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for natural medicine. Very, very proud of that. Okay. But I want to talk about today is we also, I believe, have found the cause, prevention, and, we don't like to use a cure word, but I'm going to use a cure word of MS, multiple sclerosis. Now, women have 3 times the rate of MS, multiple sclerosis than men. It's not a gender thing. It's not a genetic thing or autoimmune thing. It's a dietary thing. It's a nutritional thing. They say there's 400,000 to 1 million, depending on whose literature you look at, somewhere between 400,000 and 1 million patients at any one time in the United States alone with MS, multiple sclerosis, thought by the medical system to be an autoimmune disease. The body's attacking specifically the brain, according to them. Not true, of course, but that's what they believe. And the thing that got me alerted to MS, because you don't hear much about it, okay? But, it's not like heart disease and lung disease and birth defects. And, we've learned how to prevent all birth defects. There's no birth defects that are genetic, as Rebecca has pointed out. There's no birth defects that are autoimmune. Your body's attacking the babies. No, they're all nutritional deficiencies. And so we've learned how to eliminate all those. And we're going to keep talking about them. But I want to spend a lot of extra time here on MS, multiple sclerosis, because it's a quiet disease. But 85 billion, I'm going to repeat that, $85 billion are spent each year in America alone, 85 billion with a B, on just pharmaceuticals to treat the symptoms of MS, not to prevent it, not to cure it, but just to treat the symptoms, 85 billion. Okay. That means it's like 420,000 to let's see, let me back up here. 42,000 to 60,000, okay, 42,000 to 60,000 per person who has the disease, okay, to come up with that $85 billion just to pay for the pharmaceuticals to treat the symptoms. Well, I want to get it down to 5 billion. I want to eliminate $80 billion of that expenditure. And we can do that for just probably, depending on the body weight, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month per person. So we're looking at $12,000 per person as opposed to $60,000 per person. Okay. And so I'm very, very proud of that. I believe we can do it. And so it comes down to dealing with all these various symptoms of MS. There's a whole litany of them, okay? And doctors want you to believe this is an autoimmune thing. And of course, on the back of the book, it's all in your head, okay? On the back of the book, it's all in your head. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Is a picture of me at the United Nations in New York City getting that award, okay? Lifetime Achievement Award for Natural Medicine. Very, very proud of that. There you are. Okay, very good. And so I'm breathless when I think about this, that they recognized that we had done so much great work. And so that award doesn't only go to me, it goes to all the longevity associates and all the people who've helped us get the information out there, including George Norrie and Rebecca and her team and so forth, getting this information out there and providing the materials to prevent and reduce and eliminate these diseases. And we're going to do the same thing for MS. I'm very confident of that because I went down through the list of all the various symptoms, okay, of MS, multiple sclerosis. And primarily the thing that doctors talk about is the stuff going on in the brain. They think it's all the brain is being attacked, okay, by our immune system. No, okay, we have a problem with the brain. We also have a problem with every organ in the body when you have MS, multiple sclerosis. And one of the things I'm concerned about, of course, is the drug, statin drugs to lower cholesterol, because 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. The myelin and demyelinating diseases have to do with cholesterol deficiencies. Oh, don't eat eggs, don't eat cholesterol, get your statin drugs so you can lower your cholesterol. That's nonsense. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient. You have cells in your body that make cholesterol. Your brain makes cholesterol. Your myelin, the insulation material in your brain, the white matter of the brain, is cholesterol, okay? And so if you think you're doing yourself a good job, you look at Bruce Willis. He has aphasia, which is one of those early sort of one of the manifestations of Alzheimer's disease, aphasia, okay? And I would just bet a dinner in New York City someplace that he was on statin drugs and staying away from foods that contained cholesterol, okay? It's one of those things where he was set up, okay? And that's why he had to quit making movies, because he was one of my big heroes, okay? Movies, great movies, Bruce Willis. But he had to quit. Right in the middle of one movie, he had to quit because he couldn't even remember his own name. Okay. And so does he have MS? Does he have Alzheimer's disease? Was he taking statin drugs? Was he avoiding cholesterol containing foods? Was he taking the essential factors, the 90 essential nutrients? Probably not. Okay. And so I tried to get a hold of him and couldn't, because he has such protection around him that I couldn't make a connection. So if anybody can make a connection with Bruce Willis, I'd like to do that, because I think I can bring him back. Okay. Now, as Rebecca was holding up the book, It's All in Your Head, I came out with this book because I was getting so many people calling me up and asking me about this disease and that disease, and their doctors said it was autoimmune, the body's attacking itself and so forth. And I said, this is awful familiar here. And sure enough, there's 25 different diseases that occur when you have osteoporosis of the skull. Now, people don't realize this. When you get osteoporosis in your bones, your legs, your knees, your hips, your vertebrae, you have osteoporosis everywhere, including your skull. Have you ever heard your doctor talking about osteoporosis of the skull? Well, there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. 12 come out the left side, 12 come out the right side. The spinal cord comes out of the back of the skull. And the tunnels that the cranial nerves go through, the tunnels that the spinal cord goes through, they lose about 50% of their inside diameter when you have osteoporosis of the skull, because the skull goes from being a quarter of an inch thick, which is normal, to anywhere from an inch to 2 inches thick. And all those tunnels, they lose 50 to 75% of their internal diameter, putting the squeeze on them. And there's so many like I say, there's 25 diseases associated with it. And we're going to have to add 3 or 4 of these diseases to this book when we reprint it here coming up pretty soon. We're running out of them, so we're going to have to reprint it. We'll add 3 or 4 of these diseases to it, including MS. Okay, including dysphagia. And dysphagia, you know, people say, I'm just coughing all the time because I keep accumulating mucus. And I'm having trouble swallowing. My voice is changing. Well, that's the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed by the skull. You have atrial fibrillation. Doctors want you to believe that atrial fibrillation is a heart disease. No, atrial fibrillation, AFib, is not a heart disease. It's actually the skull is squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, okay, is also squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve, controls the respiratory system. And then, of course, reflux, bloating, diarrhea, and gastroparesis. There's 2 things going on here. Gastroparesis is terrible pain in the stomach, and doctors oftentimes think you have a gastric ulcer when you have gastroparesis. And it has to do with the skull, again, squeezing that 10th cranial nerve, which goes from the brain all the way down through the chest, all dealing with the lungs, dealing with the diaphragm, dealing with the stomach, dealing with the heart. And okay, and the hiccups, of course, is the recurrent nerve, which is a branch of the 10th cranial nerve. Okay, and when it gets squeezed, you get the hiccups because it controls the diaphragm. Okay, and so these things are all just one nerve. Okay, Bell's palsy. Okay, that's the 7th cranial nerve. Okay, the facial nerve getting squeezed. And then ONA, optic nerve atrophy. Well, that's self-explanatory. The optic nerve, optic artery, and optic vein gets squeezed. Okay, we're talking about vision loss. Vertigo is the vestibular branch of the 8th cranial nerve being squeezed. It's a dizziness and balance problems. Meniere's disease, same thing. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, that's the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve being squeezed. Paget's disease. Paget's disease is when the skull gets thickened by osteoporosis. That came out over 100 years ago, and the doctors thought it was an autoimmune disease. The body's attacking the skull, and that's what they thought Paget's disease. They still think Paget's disease is an autoimmune disease. No, it's just osteoporosis of the skull. And then trigeminal neuralgia, which is the 5th cranial nerve being squeezed. Okay, you get the trigeminal neuralgia, you get pain in your face. And then, of course, the dysphagia, the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed. And that has to do, again, with that unable to swallow correctly, and so your voice changes, and you lose your sense of taste and all that kind of stuff. And then the spinal cord is a big one. Okay, the spinal cord gets squeezed coming out of the back of the skull through the foramen magnum, which is a large hole, which is foramen magnum in Latin, it's a big hole. And then I had people calling me about MS. What about all this stuff, you know, with MS that has to do with things like stuff going on in your legs, skin problems, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, all this stuff. And then, of course, pain and numbness, hammer toes, all these things down in the legs. How's the skull dealing with that? Well, the skull is squeezing the spinal cord, which goes all the way down to the tips of your toes, okay? The spinal cord and its nerves, the sciatic nerves, okay? And so that's why when you have something going on in your skull, squeezing the spinal cord as it comes out of the skull, you're feeling it down in your toes, okay? And that's all part of the MS, multiple sclerosis issue. And so this is very exciting because this will be another one of those diseases that we've been able to get rid of and have credit. And that's why I got the Lifetime Achievement Award from the United Nations for getting rid of all these diseases, you know, like birth defects, things like cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy. We gave Jerry Lewis, you know, who'd raised $2 billion, you know, through the muscular dystrophy telethon. We gave Jerry Lewis about a dozen of our kids that we had cured of muscular dystrophy. He was excited because he talked to the doctors, talked to the families, and looked at all the lab work. He took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis, even though he'd raised $2 billion for him. They fired Jerry Lewis and shut down the telethon because either they were embarrassed that they missed it so badly and they thought it was a genetic disease, or they didn't want people to know that there was a cure available. Who knows what their reason was, because they didn't say what the reason was. They just fired Jerry Lewis and shut down the telethon. That's how crazy this can be. And so we're very, very excited because I believe with all my heart, within weeks, we are going to have an army of people marching, okay, saying we used to have MS, multiple sclerosis, we don't have it anymore because we did all the right stuff. And of course, there's other books that go along with that, of course, The Truth About Nutrition. It's a book and a CD and a DVD. Everybody needs to get this book, CD, and DVD, The Truth About Nutrition, because it goes into why we need these nutrients, what they do for us, why you can't get them out of your food. Well, doctors say, my doctor says I can get everything I need just by eating well. I can eat the 4 food groups and the 7 food group pyramid and get everything I need. He said, don't waste my money on taking vitamins and minerals. That doctor should have his license taken away and put in jail. Okay, because nutritional minerals, which there are 60 of them, there's 60 nutritional minerals, 1/3 of the 90 essential nutrients are minerals. They do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. Okay, now think about that. They occur in veins like gold and silver. So you can be eating the same recipe, cooking the same recipe that your twin brother, your twin sister, or your cousin, your mom, your auntie and uncle in Pennsylvania did, and you're in Texas, and you're only getting 3 minerals because where your vegetables came from, and they're getting 38 minerals. So they're not perfect, but 38 is better than 3. Okay, and so it's one of those things where you have to take those essential factors. And people say, well, how long am I going to have to stay on them? When I get rid of my problem, how long do I have to stay on them? Well, how long do you need oxygen? Forever. How long do you need water? Forever. How long do you need the 90 essential nutrients? Forever. Okay. You'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. Right now, our life expectancy sucks. It used to be 79. In the last couple of years, it's dropped down to 75. And it's still dropping. And I'm very, very nervous about that. It's dropping. Okay, because people are not eating well, they're not doing well because of this COVID thing. They're not taking their essential factors. If they are, it says on the bottle, take 3 twice a day, they'll take 1 a week and think they're doing okay. I got to save some money, so I'll just take 1 a week. Well, if you're losing 25 to 50 years of your life, that's not saving money. I guarantee you, because you're probably getting very sick. You just didn't drop dead and you're walking along, everything perfect. You got all these symptoms, including MS, which includes all the diseases that we have from, quote, osteoporosis of the skull, unquote. Okay. And so I'm very excited that we can very, very rapidly make a huge, huge positive impact on the American population, which will then spill over to the world. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Now, I had received email this week, and it was from one of our listeners, and she was so excited to receive from 2 different establishments them starting to recognize and realize how important supplementation is. People are starting to wake up, Dr. Wallach.
Well, thank you. That's partly because of you and your team. Okay, we appreciate that, getting this word out here. Because, to a little old guy like me sitting in my laboratory, beating the desk and yelling about this stuff doesn't get out in the world. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share this information with your viewers and followers and so forth. And so I'm glad the view and the information is getting out there.
Well, I'm so thankful, Dr. Wallach, that you sat in that laboratory and you kept good notes and you saw the value in putting that into books that we as the general population now are able to get our hands on and take control of our own health.
That's right.
you had a vision that you didn't even know that is being carried out. And I'm so honored. And I know my co-hosts here with me and all of the people that are on Ask Doc Live and who share this program, we're honored, Dr. Wallach, that we're able to do that.
Well, and we can't thank you enough. And again, I do have 21 books. I have another one coming out here pretty soon, and you and I are putting together an addendum. Okay, it's going to be a CD and a DVD addendum to this book. It's all in your head. I'm very, very excited about that, and can't thank you enough for going through that. It's a lot of work, I know. And then, of course, we have the book Epigenetics, which is a summary of my thesis, which is 5,000 pages. My thesis, oh, there you go, good girl. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. 5,000 pages represent 20,000 autopsies, and I showed there were no genetic disease and no autoimmune disease. And the purpose of that study was to find a zoo animal in a big zoo in a big city in the United States that was sensitive to the same pollutants that humans were. Okay, yeah, that's Dr. Gerhard Strauser, one of my heroes. And he helped me get the Klaus Schwartz Award. Okay, very, very, what should I say, honored to get that award for finding the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, sudden death syndrome. Mothers weren't laying on the babies, you know, that kind of stuff. And so we got I got the Klaus Schwartz Award through him, and his, which I say, he was a world honored biochemist, Dr. Gerhard Strauser, and certainly one of my heroes. And to receive the Klaus Schwartz Award and have him personally put it around my neck, it was just like bring tears to your eyes. Really a great man. And so, at any rate, the book Epigenetics is a summary of my thesis. Yeah, it's a summary of my thesis. It's only 300 pages compared to 5,000 pages, and it only cost, I think, something like $25, but instead of 25,000. When they published my thesis, they published, I don't know, like 90,000, something like that. W.B. Saunders, the big publishing house for the school medical textbooks and so on, and they sold them. They edited it down to 1,200 pages, and they sold them for $25,000 each. They sold them all in like 30 days. Now, the average American is not going to buy a $25,000 book for, you know, to deal with their diet in the house for the family. So we decided to make a summary, okay, of it, which turned out to be 300 pages, Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. And this book can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And like I said, it's only $25, but if you buy 10 of them, there's a big discount on each one. Okay, so you'll save a lot of money off the $25. If you buy 10 of them, you can give them away as gifts. You can sell them. If you're a longevity associate and you know, running your longevity business, you can sell them at the regular price and make a few bucks on selling each one, because you can sell them for the regular price and you bought them for the discounted price because you bought 10 of them and so forth. But this book is an awakening. This book is an awakening. Every family should have at least one in the house, okay, to where you can sit. Like we used to, every Tuesday night, Grandma would have a meeting in her house. We'd talk about health and talk about diet and all that kind of stuff. We lived on a farm, and so we talked about supplementation of the animals and why we should be supplementing ourselves. And so Grandma was a big part of my life, and probably injecting into my brain the interest and understanding of why the essential factors were so important, because we didn't have health insurance for our animals. And if they get sick and we call the veterinarian out every day, it'd be a big financial hit. So we learned that if we gave them the essential factors every day, they didn't get sick. And I said, well, why not for people? Okay, and so that's how all this started. And so what can I say? Well, we have another book everybody should know about. It's called Black Gene Lies. And Black Gene Lies, it goes into the diseases, all the major diseases that are said to be genetic in the Black community, like high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, kidney failure, that sort of stuff, Alzheimer's disease, and so on, irritable bowel syndrome. And that's another thing. One of the common threads of MS, multiple sclerosis, and osteoporosis of the skull is celiac disease, which is a manifestation of gluten. And so again, this book, Black Gene Lies, talks about the gluten factor. You got to change the diet, get rid of all the bad stuff, and take the 90 essential factors, and all the, quote, genetic diseases, unquote, in the Black community will disappear. Now that's a big thing. All the, quote, all the genetic diseases in the Black community will disappear, unquote, if everybody in the Black community gets rid of all the bad stuff, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, the wheat, bran, rye, oats, sugar, carbonated drinks, even the diet ones got to go. And they take the essential factors every day faithfully twice a day based on their body weight, they'll eliminate these diseases, even if you have them. I take people that haven't urinated for 10 years on dialysis 6 days a week. In 2 weeks' time, they're urinating. They drop them down to 3 days dialysis. And in 2 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis. They haven't urinated in 10 years. Well, now they're back normal. Just taking our essential factors and getting rid of all the bad foods. And so is this not worth looking at? Absolutely. And that's why I'm so excited about what Rebecca and I are doing with this book. It's all in your head. We're going to add to it. She interviewed me on the MS. There you go. She interviewed me on the MS subject, multiple sclerosis. And I'm very excited to see her finished edited copy of this interview, which she shipped to me yesterday or today or something like that. So I'll be getting it this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. I'm very excited about that because that's going to expand the value of that book. It's all in your head. Just like when we did the book, The Truth About Nutrition, it was very obvious we needed the CD and the DVD to go along with it because some people are just, they're listening learners as opposed to reading learners and so on. So we want to kind of cover the entire, what should I say? We want to cover the entire family, okay, of people, make sure that everybody has access to the information and can utilize it. And we can save America an enormous amount of unnecessary misery. We can save America an enormous amount of money just simply by getting rid of the bad stuff and taking the good stuff. Okay, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Wallach. And where America does have the highest healthcare costs, we're not just saving America, folks, we're saving the world. I love on the back of this book, Black Genes Lies, where it says that fraudulent chains of DNA conjured up in regards to the Black gene, and people are shedding those chains. Folks, epigenetics. We're all created from the same dirt, where we're all special and unique in our own way. When it comes to what the body needs, we are not segregated. So, Dr. Wallach, I appreciate all of the research that you have put into that and fought the battle to be able to write these books full of truth. So thank you. Thank you for all you do. I am honored to be able to put this CD of interviews together to go with the It's All in Your Head book for the next publication.
It's gonna be a great set. It's gonna be a great set.
Wonderful. So I had brought up how different medical establishments are finally recognizing the importance of supplementation. But Dr. Wallach, they're going into individual nutrients. Now, you talk about the 90 essential nutrients. Your formulas have ratios that include cofactors so that everything is working in balance synergistically.
That is correct.
Can you share with us what happens whenever we like go just real, hog wild on one supplement and forget about the rest?
Well, that happens a lot in America. People say, I say, do you take, I don't use the word supplement, do you take the essential factors? Are you taking vitamins and minerals? Well, I take vitamin C every day, faithfully. Okay, what about the other 89? Well, my doctor says I can get everything I need just by eating the 4 food groups and 7 food group pyramid. Don't waste my money on buying vitamins and minerals. Well, your doctor should go to jail and have his license taken away, okay, because he's killing people and causing them to go broke financially, causing them a lot of unnecessary misery, causing despair and misery in their families. And so is this done with knowledge and doing it purposely? I don't think so. I think it's just ignorance. I think it's ignorance for most of them, and because they don't get taught the right stuff in medical school. When you look at the life expectancy of medical doctors, depending on if you're an emergency room doctor or a family practitioner, it runs between 54 and 57. Now, a doctor is not the right person to ask about what do I do
Longevity.
to live a long, yeah, for to live a long, healthful life? Okay, they're not the right people to ask about that. Now, if you get run over by a truck and you're bleeding internally, you got to go to the emergency room because they're very good about emergency surgery. Okay, and I'm very thankful for that. You know, I spent a lot of time in the military, and so I saw medical doctors do great things with terrible wounds and so forth. And so that's where they excel. When it comes to health and longevity, they fail badly. And especially, I get tears in my eyes when I think about it, especially with our kids. They fail our kids before conception, throughout the pregnancy, and from the time they're born, they fail. For instance, if everybody is taught in these classes, you know, the health classes, I don't know, they teach them in 4th and 5th and 6th grade, the health classes, but the teachers who teach those health classes don't know anything about this stuff. Okay. And so they're not sharing everything correctly. You know, they tell about Edward Jenner, who came up with the first vaccines for smallpox, and Louis Pasteur had the vaccine for rabies and so on, that kind of stuff, and what dates and so. But they never talk about why you need to stay away from the bad foods. They never talk about why you need to take these 90 essential nutrients faithfully, even though you're eating well. Okay, you still need to take the 90 essential nutrients because these nutrients do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And so you can be eating very well and still not getting everything you need. So you don't put dirt from Texas in your car in the oil pan, you put oil in the oil pan. Well, come on, there's bound to be some oil in it. That's dirt from Texas. An idiot wouldn't do that to their car. But that's what you're doing to yourself when you think you can just eat well and get everything you need. Oh man, that's a scary one. And so kids are my favorite people. And so again, I was a Boy Scout, Cub Scout, Boy Scout, did a lot of community projects. And so I got to see a lot of stuff. And of course I played sports, traveled around the country on the university team and University of Missouri wrestling team. And so I got to see a lot of the world there, even before I got into the military. And so it's one of those things where it's very obvious that we were doing a better job for our livestock and our pets. Up until about 1900, the average lifespan of a dog and a cat in a family home was like 4, 5, 6 years. And then Ralston and Purina came out with a dog food that had vitamins and minerals in it, and they began to live to be 12 and 15. Okay, and I'm looking at all that. Okay, and I'm saying, well, why don't we do that for people? We did it for animals. Why aren't we doing this for people? And so that's what got me going in this direction. And so it's very, very scary how backward the medical system was. And of course, they did a proactive thing. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant, in New York City. And that was let's see here, 1882. And 18 years later, in 1900, most Americans were obese by 25 pounds or more. And the doctor said, look, you guys are eating too much animal fat. That's why you're getting fat. You're eating too much animal fat. Stop eating animal fat, eat more whole grains. And 1,000 companies came out making things out of wheat. And they just pumped gluten into America. And about 20 years later, about 1920, we had 45 new diseases nobody had ever seen before. And guess what? They called them genetic diseases. They're just simple nutritional deficiency diseases secondary to all that gluten we were eating and no essential factors being taken. And so that's why we had all these diseases. And of course, then they came out, just like with MS, they came out with like $85 billion for treating symptoms, not one penny for prevention and cure. Sounds like a dairy herd to me, sounds like a milking machine.
Well, and whenever they do hear of any type of solution, they fire the people that bring it to their attention.
Yeah, we do have solutions, I believe, for MS, multiple sclerosis. When you read the book, It's All in Your Head, and then you read and listen to our interview that you did with me, you're going to see that MS, multiple sclerosis, is it's all in your head, because both osteoporosis of the skull and MS, the basic underlying factor is let's see, it's a thing called gluten intolerance. They get celiac disease. People with osteoporosis skull have celiac disease, and people with MS have celiac disease. They cannot absorb nutrition, even if they were to take consciously, proactively take the classic 90. Okay, they can't absorb it efficiently, and so these are basic problems. These are curbside problems here. Okay, these are not operating room problems. These are curbside problems, and so we're getting the information out there. And this interview you did with me, I cannot thank you enough for doing that, because this is going to add a tremendous usefulness to this book. It's all in your head, because I believe osteoporosis of the skull is one of the main factors of MS. Okay, they're interchangeable. Okay, same underlying factors. Okay, the celiac disease. Okay, the gluten issue, and then no essential factors. That's a bad combination. Okay, it's a bad combination. And so this is easily and quickly dealt with. And I believe, and after this CD book set comes out, which is going to be very quickly, because the book is already out. The CD, I just have to listen to it. I'm sure you did a great job, but I just need to listen to it before we publish it, and we'll tape it together with the book, just like we did with the Truth About Nutrition. Those 3 are in a package. We'll do the same thing, and it's going to save America financially and health-wise. Just think about it. Just treating the symptoms of MS, multiple sclerosis, we're spending $85 billion a year. Okay, and nobody's screaming about that. Nobody's screaming about that.
Well, and I want to make it clear, Dr. Wallach, whenever, the title says it's all in your head, many times people think, well, no, it's real. Well, that's not what we're saying about it's all in your head. Yes, it is a real condition, but it's caused by stuff that's going on in your skull, which is caused by gluten and its effect on the body that doesn't allow the absorption of needed nutrients. So yes, It's real, absolutely, but it is. It's
this is a mechanical biochemical problem.
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Wallach. Well, I am excited. We have several hands up with us today. I have text messages, I have emails. Let's jump right in. And just as a reminder, if you were invited to this program by somebody specific, get back with the person that invited you to watch this show, whether it's live or replay. They cared enough to share it with you. So let's go to the first hand that's up, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And Maria, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Where are you from?
I'm in near Houston, Texas, but I'm
Okay.
a military brat, so I lived all over the country. So
Okay. So I know that because I was in the military. And so how old are you?
73.
And let's see, how much do you weigh?
185.
Okay. How tall are you?
5'9".
Okay. What's your question?
I was diagnosed 2 years and 4 months ago. I ended up in the emergency room, and you're correct with that. Doctors are great at the emergency room, but I left that situation being diagnosed with coronary heart disease, AFib. They told me I had a heart attack, but they didn't know when. The LAD was blocked, and I had 2 other arteries that were 50% blocked. So, and I also have arthritis, and I've had 2 hip replacements, but I'm not on any medication. I weaned myself off all the drugs.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No.
Do you have any vertigo or balance problems?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything going on like swallowing or accumulating mucus or kind of thing, or voice changes?
Yeah, I have some white mucus, a little bit.
Okay, that's called dysphagia. Okay, and that goes along with, of all things, AFib. Okay, also, now when you had these, you say you had hip replacements, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did they say you had osteoporosis of the joints or arthritis, or what did they say?
They said arthritis, and that I would be facing getting 2 knee replacements, which I've since decided I won't do that.
Okay, no, you don't need to do that.
I know now. I wish I hadn't done the replacements.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and so the AFib is not a heart thing. AFib is osteoporosis of the skull. Tell me about your teeth. Do you have receding gums? Do you have dentures? Do you have implants?
No, I have all my teeth, except for my wisdom teeth.
Okay.
I have some gum recession, but my teeth are in really good shape.
Okay. Any TMJ where your jaw clicks, where you move your jaw, your jaw clicks, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did you lose your sense of smell?
Yes, I haven't had a sense of smell for years. I can smell maybe 5 things, but not normal.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. Well, that's also the first cranial nerve, the olfactory nerve being squeezed. And when you have AFib, that's the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull. All right. And so there you go. And when you have things going on in your hips, it's going on in your skull. You don't just get joint problems in your knees or your hips only, and the rest of your body's okay. Okay, that's just for whatever reason, you know, you have to climb stairs or you have to go up and down someplace or whatever, or lifting grandbabies. You're going to have stuff going on in your knees and your hips more than you will in your, you know, in your skull, more symptoms, but you have both osteoporosis in both places. Okay, when you have arthritis, that's just osteoporosis of the joints. So here we go. I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye and oats. Even there are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten. You need to also stay away from sugar, stay away from carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, because even carbonation in the diet drinks will neutralize stomach acid, which is essential for absorbing minerals and also digesting food. Then at 185 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Full dose everything twice a day. Then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. You'll be able to do that because they're big bottles. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone matrix, including the skull, bone itself. And then I also want you to take the collagen peptides. Get the large canister, take a scoop of that with your breakfast drink, take a scoop of the collagen peptides with your evening drink. And it's actually the collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef, and it's going to help rebuild your disc between your vertebrae. And it's going to rebuild your cartilage in your joints. It's going to rebuild your arteries, okay, and the walls of your arteries and so forth. And then I also want you to take our vitamin D3. Take 3 of those 3 times a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's 3 bottles a month. They're small little bottles, and that will help you absorb the minerals and put them in the right place. I also want you to take, and you said they said you had coronary artery disease, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to get 3 other small bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They will support healthy blood pressure, healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the eyes, the coronary arteries, the kidneys, your legs, every place else. And so also it's going to help with the, let's see here, the valves, which are made out of connective tissue also, in your heart, and to tone up your heart muscle so that the valves meet. Because when your heart swells, the valves don't meet and you get all kinds of reflux. You know, when your heart beats, as much blood goes up out of the heart as it does where it's supposed to go, and so forth. And all that will be reversed by taking those products. And so give us a call every couple of weeks, because you're going to have a great story. You're going to have a great story. But again, you're exactly right. The odds are we could have rebuilt those hip joints where you didn't need a double hip replacement. But now you have to worry about, you want the bones to grab onto that hip replacement device. You don't want it wallowing around in there. So we want to make sure the bones are holding on to that device so it doesn't wallow around in there and give you pain and noise and all kinds of stuff. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, Maria, thank you for sharing. We look forward to hearing from you every couple of weeks, because you are going to have a great story.
And I will be happy to share it with you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for your family's service.
And you also.
Say
Thank
that.
you.
Yes, thank you, Maria. We look forward to hearing from you again and following you on this journey. Dr. Wallach, let's go to our next hand that is up, and it says, Daughter of the Most High. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yes, good morning. My name is Lucy. My English is not that good, but I wish you will be able to understand me.
Where are you from, Lucy?
I'm from Haiti.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been watching your program, find out I might have osteoporosis of the skull because I had the
You have tinnitus, ringing in the ears?
once in a while, and I used to have the congestion of the throat, and they give me Pepsi, but I stopped getting it, and I used to do the powder from the Healthy Body Park, but I didn't tolerate the powder.
Okay,
So
let's stop there for a minute. How much do you weigh?
118, I'm
118.
57, 118
You're
pounds.
54 years old?
I'm 57 and I'm 5.7, 5'7" tall.
5'7" tall. Okay. Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
Yeah, my blood pressure is getting was high, but it's getting better now.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, well, just for our listeners, of course, somebody who has, let's see, 118 pounds and has stuff going on with the skull, they have high blood pressure. Do you have any skin problems or bowel problems? Do you have any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, stuff like that?
Not really. I had a little bit like constipation, but I'm getting better now.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so you have some celiac disease, okay? And
I
so
have great.
okay, so what I want you to do again is get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. Because even the carbonation of the diet drinks neutralizes stomach acid, which is necessary to absorb minerals and to digest food. Okay, so and of course you'll get all those nutrients by taking the 118 pounds. I want you to take one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get one bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time, and they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc, between vertebrae, bone, breaks bone itself. Also support the health of arteries. And because you have high blood pressure, I want you to get 2 bottles a month. They're tiny little bottles, 2 bottles a month, or Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in your brain, your heart, your kidneys, every place. And so you're going to see a benefit there. And then you're also going to see increase in health of your skin. Do you have any, are you coloring your hair? Do you have any gray hair or white hair?
I have gray hair. 90% of my hair are gray.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you need also our hair, skin, and nails. Get 2 bottles of that, hair, skin, and nails, and take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And within weeks, your hair color will start coming back in, because when you have this hair color loss, when you go to the white, gray, or silver hair, it's not due to aging. It's due to a nutritional deficiency. And I always ask people about, do you have gray hair? Because if they do, it tells me they're missing a certain nutrient. And that nutrient also contributes to all the stuff going on in the arteries and the heart and so forth. Okay. And so it saves a lot of laboratory money and time and everything, because I already know the answer because you have gray hair. But watch what happens. 3 twice a day of the hair, skin, and nails. Okay. That hair color will come back. It's telling you you're absorbing the nutrients. And that's a great, great thing. Okay.
And also I have tooth decay. They want me to, I don't know
Okay,
if
you have
it's
tooth
to have
decay?
a feeling.
Okay, well, see, the thing is, again, you have to be able to absorb the minerals, because there's a blood vessel that comes into the bottom of the tooth, okay, and brings all the nutrients to the tooth so the tooth can maintain itself. But if the tooth is not getting what it needs, okay, then you get cavities in your tooth because the tooth is a dynamic tissue. It's like your bones. They come and go, they come and go and come and go. But if you're not taking in the nutrients you need to constantly repair the tooth goes away and you get cavities and you get loose teeth and, you know, they fall out or you pull them out or whatever. And so you're showing the signs of osteoporosis of the skull, okay? And the high blood
So
pressure
is
and
it
so
okay
on.
to have them feel, to have the feeling?
Yeah, you can actually, you know, obviously you have to have a dentist look at them and keep them clean and so forth and put a temporary filling in there. But you can actually rebuild the teeth by these nutritional programs, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, God bless.
Thank you. You too.
You bet. We look forward to hearing from you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Your email that came in yesterday was actually one of the emails I was going to go through today. So that worked perfectly. I love when that happens. Let's go to the next hand that is up. We have about 4 minutes before the top of the hour, Dr. Wallach. Let's
Okay.
go to Anthony. Anthony, if you're able to come on camera with us, that would be fabulous. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello, Anthony.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where are you from?
Missouri right now.
Okay, well, that's where I grew up, Missouri. Okay. Let's see here. What part of Missouri are you from?
I'm actually from Wisconsin. I just moved here 6 months ago.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. So what part of Missouri did you go to?
Northeast of Jefferson City.
Okay. All right. So let's see. How old are you, sir?
49,
Okay. And how much you weigh?
340 pounds,
How tall are you?
6 foot.
Okay. At 6 foot, I'd like to see you weigh 200 pounds. So you're 140 pounds overweight. So what don't you do is get our keto shakes. Okay. They come in strawberry chocolate. They're not to add to your meals. They're a meal replacer. I want you to just replace one meal a day. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. Okay. It's called the keto shake, strawberry or chocolate. And let's see here, you will lose about a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And so realistically, you're looking at 4, 5, 6 months, you should be down to 200 pounds. But just stay away from all the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no iron oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then you also need, optimally, if finances are not a problem, and I don't know if it's your computer or what, there's somebody talking in the background.
Feedback. I'm going to go ahead and mute Anthony.
Mute him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't me.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, but I don't hear that noise anymore. That's good. Okay. But at any rate, yeah, he needs to do that. If finances are not a problem, you can take 3 doses a day or Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. That'll be 3 packs a month. Take a full dose of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If finances are an issue, you take no less than 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, a full dose of breakfast and dinner time. You also need 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, mixed bone itself. And then I want you to take our, let's see here, collagen peptides. Get the large canister, take a scoop of that in your morning drink and a scoop of the collagen peptides in your evening drink. And again, they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and including the bone marrow cavity, which is your immune system, very important there. And also makes red blood cells and platelets and white blood cells and antibodies and so forth to help protect you against things like COVID and so on. And then vitamin D3, take 3 times a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That'll be 3 bottles a month. They're tiny little bottles of vitamin D3. And let's see here. I also want you to take our, I would go ahead and take our BTT 2.0 tablets. Now, they do not replace the BTT 2.0 powder, which is in the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. The BTT 2.0 powder, which is in the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs, is vitamins and minerals. Okay. The BTT 2.0 tablets supports your immune system, but also is anti-inflammatory and reduces swelling. And so, supports your immune system, also supports your immune system. And so let's go there. Okay, you can get, I'd go ahead and get 2 bottles a month of the BTT 200 tablets. So you can take 3 of those tablets twice a day. Okay, and that's going to help you again with inflammation, because if you're 340 pounds and you're that deficient in nutrition that you're gaining that much weight, that means that you also have other issues. If you have high blood pressure, you can take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 with each meal. That'll be 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 bottles per month. They will support and promote healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. If you're on medication for blood pressure, don't cold turkey off of that, but as your blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce medication. If you have diabetes, you can take our sweeties, take 3 of those with each meal. That'll be 9 a day. That's 3, again, they're small bottles. You can take 3 sweeties at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't cold turkey off your diabetes medication if you're on diabetes medication. And they, as your blood sugar drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. And so do give us a call every couple of weeks, and we will walk you through this. And, let us know your weight every time you call in and anything else going on, because I'm just laying out possibilities here. So I do want to know, oh yeah, 2 weeks ago, I had a terrible diabetes, and now I don't have diabetes anymore. We get that all the time. So do give us, a call every couple of weeks, because people are wanting to know. And I deal with people who are 300 pounds, 500 pounds, 600 pounds all the time. I'm in 80 countries. And so I see just about everything you can imagine. Okay. And so what I want to do here is hand this back over to you.
Dr. Wallach, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Anthony had another issue that he was calling, came on the show to ask you about.
Okay. Well, and that issue is?
Go ahead,
Am I
Anthony.
live? I've had this problem with my nose basically most of my life. Doctors earlier had said that I had ocular rosacea. But my nose is usually red. I'm very sensitive to different foods. It breaks out, kind of turns blistery and stuff. And
Yeah. Okay.
I do have
Did you ever?
diabetes. I've been struggling with that up and down here for.
Well, we can get rid of that in weeks. We can get rid of that in weeks. Okay. Take 3 of the sweeties at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. Take 3 of the sweeties at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'd be 9 a day. Don't cold turkey off your medication, but as your blood sugar drops, you can slowly reduce medication. Did you ever have asthma or bronchitis or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did you play sports?
No.
Okay. But at any rate, when you have skin problems, this is a very specific nutritional deficiencies. And you get these deficiencies when you can't, and they're very difficult to absorb. And say, but you got to stay away from that gluten. No wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. I mean, you can't even say the word out loud. Okay. Everybody in the household, dog, cat, bird, fish, spouse, renter, roommate, everybody has got to be drop dead gluten free. You have to wash your clothes in your place. You can't be washing your clothes in a laundromat, because you're going to get cross contaminated with gluten, because all people eat gluten. It'll get in the dryer and the washer, so you can't do that. So you got to be really, really careful. I mean, not one dust grain of gluten anymore. Okay. But all this stuff will go away. Okay. And give us a call every couple of weeks, because you're going to have a great story. And of course, I laid it all out, because it just, when somebody weighs that much, that tells me you're seriously missing nutrients. When you're seriously missing nutrients, you're going to have osteoporosis, you're going to have arthritis, you're going to have diabetes, you're going to have high blood pressure, you're going to have heart disease, you're going to have all that stuff, because they, along with obesity is caused by a lack of nutrition, not a lack of calories, but a lack of nutrition. And you develop a behavior called pica, which drives you to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And that's why people gain so much weight. But once you start taking these nutrients, that pica will go away, and you'll heap your plate up like you used to. And you say, I don't know why, but I can't finish this today. Okay, then you know you're on the right track. Okay, so we're going to run, and I'm going to tell you to call us back in 2 weeks. But these guys and gals will help you get in the system, so you can be sure you're taking all the right stuff.
Thank you, Anthony. And Dr. Wallach, I would like to add when we've got a major gluten issue, we are going to have skin issues. We are going to
Yes.
have allergies that are exposing, suppressing their ugly heads
Absorption of
all
nutrients.
over the body, all
Yep.
over the body. So, well, let's go to break, Dr. Wallach. We're going to take about 5 minutes, folks. Get up and stretch. Make sure you fill your cups. If you got some minerals, go ahead and throw a splash of minerals in that water. And let's come back here in just about 5 minutes for Ask Doc Live. We will return. And we are back with Ask Doc Live. My name is Rebecca Dukes Kozak, and I am honored to be your host of this program that we have brought together as a resource to you, where you can bring information, or you can share information rather, to the people that you bring to watching the content of this show, whether they're here live and asking their questions, or watching the replay and hearing something that really speaks to them because they may be experiencing some of the same conditions. I do want to make sure that we make it clear that we do not treat, cure, diagnose any diseases. Our products are not designed to do that. But when you give the body what it needs to be able to thrive, it is going to respond better and start to actually give you what you're looking for. If you have a desire for better health, you have come to the right place, because the information that we are sharing with you today has helped thousands, if not millions of others find better health. So as we are waiting for Dr. Wallach to come back here with us, again, get with the person that invited you to this show. If you have never purchased any of the longevity products before, you are more than welcome to go to our website, askdoclive.com, and we do have a store there, but that's only if you have never spoken to anybody about longevity or the products. So if somebody referred you to this program, get back with them. But if they didn't, go to askdoclive.com. You will find some of Dr. Wallach's most popular books there as well. If you don't find it there, feel free to go to his website, www.drjwallach.com, and he has all of his publications there and available for you. Dr. Wallach, are you ready to take the next question?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
So I have an email coming in from Rick, and Rick is 46 years old, 5'5", 225 pounds. And I hear you're typing, and I don't think it's you, Dr. Wallach.
Not me.
All right.
Somebody on your side is typing in their
We
computer.
got it. We got it. Let me find that question again. Here it is. Had gastric bypass in 2015.
That must be weight loss.
Yep, had for weight loss, and by 2017 was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Now taking a prescription, but they want to get rid of the bug for good. So Dr. Wallach recommended minocycline for 2 weeks to get rid of RA. How do I get a prescription of that? And what do I need to take? I love this, for life after that.
Okay. Well, did we get a weight for this person?
Yep, 225 pounds.
225. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, first of all, need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. Eat like an Asian. Rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables. No wheat, butter, rye, and oats. Okay. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin. It's still gluten. Then at 225 pounds, I want them to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. The full dose, everything twice a day. Okay. Then I want them to have let's see here, 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself. That'll work towards the RA plus other stuff. Okay. Then the collagen peptides, 1 large canister, so you can take a scoop of that, crystals with a morning drink, and a scoop of the crystals an evening drink. That's going to help, again, rebuild the bones and ligaments and tendons, connective tissue, artery walls, valves in your heart, anything, skin, anything made out of connective tissue. Okay. And also it will, again, rebuild the bone marrow cavity, which makes white blood cells and red blood cells and platelets and so forth. Then, let's see here, they also need the, I'd go with the Beyond Osteo FX. Go ahead and have 2 doses a day. It comes in liquid. If 225 pounds, if they take the liquid, they can take an ounce twice a day. That's 2 parts a month. The powder, I like to use the powder. I put it in my drink. I put a scoop of the powder in my morning drink and a scoop of the powder in the evening drink of the collagen peptides, and also the Beyond Osteo FX. Both of them are, I like the powder. And then because of the rheumatoid arthritis bug, which is on top of just a simple nutritional deficiency arthritis, the bug is called mycoplasma. It's kind of halfway between a bacteria and a virus, and it's killable with an antibiotic called minocycline, like the bait fish, minocycline. And I like 2 months, not 2 weeks, 2 months. Okay. So they need to be taking the minocycline for 2 months at a dose for a 225-pound person. And that should kill the minocycline if they're off all the bad foods so they can absorb it. Because if you're still on eating gluten, you cannot absorb the minocycline. Okay, you have to be able to absorb it for it to do any good. So you really, really, really got to be very proactive about avoiding gluten. And then we do have, kind of some anti-inflammatory stuff. We have our CM cream and trauma oil you can put on the joints if they hurt. We do have our Hemp FX Soothe, SOOTHE. It comes in a little pump bottle. You get 2 hours out of the CM cream and trauma oil, and you'll get 3 to 4 hours out of the Hemp FX for relieving pain on your joints that are infected with the are infected with the mycoplasma, rheumatoid arthritis. That'll go away. It's not an autoimmune disease. Your body's not attacking itself. It's an infection. And so doctors like to say, oh, you got an autoimmune disease, you got rheumatoid arthritis. No, it's an infection on top of just simple nutritional deficiency arthritis. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Now, I would like to share, we've got a new product. I don't know if you're familiar with this one that's added to our Hemp FX line, Dr. Wallach.
I'm sorry, it's what?
It's added to our Hemp FX line. So along with Soothe, it's called Roll It. Rather than the pump bottle, you just roll it on, and so convenient to just take and roll it on.
There you go. What's it called again?
Roll It.
Oh, Roll It. Oh, Roll It. Okay, I'll have to get some. Okay, thank you. It must be brand new.
That stuff is the bomb. It lasts for a long time.
It lasts a long time. Okay, good. Thank you. Roll It. Okay.
Thank you, Ruth Ellen. And in regards to rheumatoid arthritis, folks, if you're on live with us, you can check the chat. Ruth Ellen put up a link that is actually found on the rheumatology.org website. If you go and do a search for minocycline or minosyn, you will find an article that you can take down to your primary care physician that supports the use of minocycline as Dr. Wallach is recommending here. So I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, that your recommendations are now being supported by other organizations, just like.
Would you look at that?
Go figure. And you've been selling this for how many decades?
Oh my gosh.
They're slow. They're slow.
For rheumatoid arthritis, yes, about 20 years. And for just regular arthritis, for over 50 years.
Yeah, a long time. And they're They're just now getting it. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go to our next hand that is up. And Dave, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach. How are you today, sir?
Not too bad. Thank you very much. Doctor, how are you?
Okay, sir. How can I help you?
Back in January, I started shortness of breath, walking upstairs, walking up hills. I checked in with my doctor. He sent me to a cardiologist who was pushing me towards transplant. So I'm checking in to see, what do you think? If it's I try some of the supplements and so forth. See where we get with that, rather than.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Stop. Did they examine you and come up with a diagnosis?
I did one of the stent guys, and the stent guy put a catheter in a camera and said he could do nothing with a stent. And then
Okay.
he suggested seeing.
So okay, but what they're saying is that you have some blocked coronary arteries. Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and how much do you weigh?
I weigh about 200.
Okay, and how old are you?
71.
Okay, how tall are you?
6'1".
Okay, now do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
Diabetes, I got it down a couple of months back from 12 to 7. So
Okay, good. Getting better. Yeah. Okay. And so, let's see here. All right. Any other issues? Any skin problems? Any bowel problems? Constipation, diarrhea?
No, otherwise I'm not bad. Not bad.
I don't have to ask you about gray hair. I can see your mustache and your beard.
No,
So-
it's black. You just can't.
Okay. Yeah. So I already know certain things just by looking at you. All right. And so what you're really calling about now is you have diabetes and you have stuff going on in coronary arteries, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Any
I'll
bowel
tell you,
problems? Did you have your appendix out when you were a kid?
my penis?
Yeah, your appendix. Did you have it taken out when you were a
No,
kid?
no.
Okay. And so do you have constipation or diarrhea?
No, not too
Okay.
bad on that level.
Okay. Did you have anything going on in your skin? Any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
You said no, and you're bobbing your head up and down, yes, but you're saying no.
Well, no. Well, the answer is no.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. You need to get rid of all the bad foods to maximize absorption. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bar, ground oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. I want you to eat like an Asian. Okay. That will help you an enormous amount. Just eating rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables and that kind of stuff, as
Oh, really?
opposed to, yeah, just eat like an Asian. They live 25 years longer than we do, not because of race, but because of their diet. They don't eat gluten. Now, there are places in Japan, there's places in China where they do eat gluten, and they live less than all the other people of their country, okay? So you got to stay away from all the bad foods. Then at 200 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 full doses a day, full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone, makes bone itself. And then I also want you to take our collagen peptides, put a scoop of that in your morning drink, a scoop of that in your evening drink. And then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our sweeties. Take 3 twice a day. Don't cold turkey off your medication if you're on medication for your diabetes. But as your blood sugar drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Usually it takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to be diabetes free. Okay, your hair color will start coming back. Your hair color will start coming back, and that tells you you're absorbing the nutrients. And then again, I do want you to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. Well, since you do have a positive for coronary artery disease, I want you to have 3 times a day. Three times a day would be 3 bottles a month. They're tiny little bottles. Okay. And they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, also blood flow through blocked arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Very, very important here. Then give us a call every couple of weeks because you're going to have a great testimony on your diabetes. You're going to have a great testimony on your chest pain and, you know, this coronary artery stuff. Okay, we'll be able to help you there. And so, and the hair color will start coming back. So,
That'd be a bit
yeah,
strange.
yeah. But see, that tells you you're absorbing the nutrients. Those same nutrients are required to make healthy arteries and healthy veins and healthy connective tissue in your skin and so forth. Okay. So we look forward to hearing from that.
You know, when you say keep away from all oils.
Yes,
I mean,
no
you do-
salad dressings, no cooking oils, no salad dressings, no,
olive oil and a whole lot. But you
no
mentioned
oils,
lard. Well, do you mention? But you do mention lard somewhere, or is
no
that your-
olive oil, no olive oil. If you
What
want
about
olive oil,
animal fat?
you got to grow an olive grove in your yard and pull the olives off the tree and eat them. Don't get any olive oil that's in a bottle or a can or anything like that,
Okay, okay.
because it will cause cancer. It will kill you.
Really, really, really.
Okay.
Doc Nasima here. I think, did you say lard?
I thought I'd seen that
No lard.
lard is not on your list of good.
Okay, it's a bad food. Lard is a bad
that's
food.
not bad. Oh, okay.
Lard is
Somehow
a
I
bad
picked it
food.
up as the
Yeah,
one.
see, lard, you don't want to be frying or cooking in lard, okay, because it turns into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides, causes cancer.
Okay.
If you have any lard, give it as a gift to your doctor.
With a pack of cigarettes, right? I know.
Yeah, along with your pack of cigarettes, give it to the doctor.
No, okay, no, that's good to know. I misread that somewhere.
Yeah, no lard, absolutely no lard, no. Lard is good for lubrication in your car, but not for you.
No, thank you very much. That's good to know.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate that.
Nasima.
All right, Dave, thank you so much for your great questions. Next, let's go to Cindy, Dr. Wallach. Cindy, go ahead and unmute yourself. You
Hello.
are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, where are you from, Cindy?
North of Spokane, Washington, 9 Mile Falls.
Okay, Washington, okay. And how much do you weigh and how old are you? Hello, how much do you weigh and how old are you?
I think she's having some communication issues. Go ahead, Cindy. You froze for a moment.
47.
Cindy, I'm going to turn your video off.
I weigh
That'll
100 and I'm 5 foot. Okay.
Let's try that again. How tall are you and what do you weigh?
I'm 140. Okay. I'm 5'2" and I'm 147 pounds and I'm
Okay.
47 years old.
Okay, and what's your health issues?
Well, I'm allergic to mold. I've been having a sinus problem since I accidentally got exposed to mold a week and a half ago. And I have other food sensitivities. I don't eat gluten, but there is wheat in the house. I have
Well,
Hashimoto's.
you don't have to eat it, just the dust from somebody else eating it. Or in
Right,
the
and I haven't
washer and
been
dryer,
that-
washer and dryer, cross contamination.
Right.
Make them wash
And I
their
have-
clothes in a laundromat.
Well, I'll just not buy the wheat anymore. Yeah.
Good, don't buy the wheat anymore.
And then I have Hashimoto's
Thyroid,
and then which I take Armor Thyroid for. And then I have tachycardia.
okay.
And I've had skin issues and low
Okay,
hormones
do you have any ringing in your ears?
occasionally.
Okay, tinnitus, it's called. Okay, do you have any balance problems or vertigo?
Yes.
Okay, do you have anything going on with your sense of smell?
So this last year, I can't smell things as well as I used to be able to.
Okay, all right. And then do you have anything going on with your skin? Any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
Yes.
Okay, do you have anything going on with your bowels? Constipation, diarrhea, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome? Did you have your appendix out?
Constipation. I did not have my appendix out, but constipation.
Okay. All right. Any diabetes or high blood pressure?
No,
Okay. Do you ever get sleepy an hour after you eat?
I feel like, yes, but I feel like I get a major blood sugar rush, but then I'll check my blood sugar and it's not high.
No, it won't be
If I
high
eat
when
something
you get
sweet.
sleep. No, when you get sleepy, it will not be high. Your blood sugar will drop because you release insulin, too much insulin, and your blood sugar drops. That's called reactive hypoglycemia. That's why you get drowsy an
Right.
hour or so after you eat. You ever sit, go sit on the couch and fall asleep watching TV?
All the time at night.
Well, there you go. Okay. Okay, let's see here. And you weigh 147 pounds, right?
Yes, I've gained weight in the last few years. I was taking care of my mom for 5 years that had Parkinson's and kind of neglected myself.
Okay, well, Parkinson's is not genetic, so you're not going to get because your mom had it, kind of thing. Okay, so here we
Well,
go.
I have had some symptoms around pesticides. I do start to shake
Okay,
if I'm
have
around
tremors.
herbicides, pesticides. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, squeezing. There's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. There's a spinal cord. All these things you have, like vertigo, dizziness, ringing in the ears, your loss of sense of smell, your skin issues. These are all skull problems. Okay, osteoporosis of the skull. The thyroid problem is obvious. And so what I want you to do is, again, get rid of all get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And the tighter you are on this, the quicker you're going to see benefit and the greater benefit you're going to get. If you're loose and you keep that gluten from other people in the house, then you're not going to see much benefit because of cross-contamination on the bed, the couch, the rugs, food preparation surfaces, the washer and dryer, and all that kind of stuff. And so cross-contamination is just as bad as eating it, okay? And so, okay, very important. Then I want you to also get rid of cruciferous vegetables out of your life because they put a drain on the thyroid glands. Okay, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale. Then
Yeah.
I need you to take it's 147 pounds. You're right at that sort of that almost 150 pounds. So you're going to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone makes a bone itself, including the skull, and all your bones and vertebrae and legs and arms and knees and hips and that kind of stuff. And then I need you to also take our collagen peptides, take a scoop of that in your breakfast drink and a scoop of that in your evening drink. I want you to take 3, especially in Washington State, I want you to take 3 of our vitamin D3 capsules at breakfast and 3 at dinner time. That's 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3 capsules. And then let's see here. I also want you to get our, Ocean's Gold. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our Ocean's Gold. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. And they are made out of seaweed and plankton and all kinds of really weird stuff from the ocean, all the minerals in the ocean. And your thyroid gland will love it. Your thyroid gland will respond very quickly. So usually within 2 to 4 weeks, if they didn't remove your thyroid gland, then in 2 to 4 weeks, you should see benefit. Okay. Okay. And so you need to stop clearing your throat into the microphone. It's very disturbing on our side. Okay. Now, do you clear your throat all the time?
Since I went to the neighbors and got exposed to mold, I have been sick with my sinuses for a week and a half, and I haven't been able to get rid of it.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now also, the odds are you have a squeezing of the 9th cranial nerve. It's called dysphagia, and you have difficulty in swallowing the mucus, which normally just kind of quietly, without you even knowing it, kind of goes away, down into your stomach. But when you have dysphagia, you can't swallow that mucus, and it accumulates, and that's when you clear your throat because you can actually feel a tablespoon of mucus in there. It changes your voice. You may lose your sense of taste and so forth. It's called dysphagia. That's the skull squeezing the 9th cranial nerve. Did you ever have Bell's palsy where one side of your face drooped?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So give us a call every couple of weeks. You're going to have a great story. And it's one of those things where, you know, you're a typical American lady. All these things you have are very common, nothing unusual there. And it all has to do with gluten and not getting all the 90 essential nutrients appropriately for your body weight. And so let's, you know, get on it. All these things will go away and you'll be a new woman within, you know, 2 to 6 weeks. Now,
Hey,
how long do
can
you
I
have to stay
ask-
on? How long do you have to stay on this stuff forever? How long you need oxygen forever? How long you need water forever? How long you need the 90 forever?
Can I ask two things? Or I have I started getting gray hair when I was 30, but then also when I fractured my arm about 10 years ago or 15 years ago, they noticed on both of my arms, I have a lot of mottling and scar tissue on my bones.
Yes, that'll all go away. Okay, the hair color will come back. Losing hair color is not due to aging, it's due to nutritional deficiencies, very specific nutritional deficiencies. And these nutritional deficiencies can have very drastic results. And so it's imperative to get your hair color back without coloring it. Coloring it doesn't count. Okay, you want it to naturally come back to your normal hair color that you had when you were like 12 years old, whether it's red or blonde or brown or black. Okay, and then, you know, pay attention to that kind of detail. And we'll look forward to hearing from you every 2 weeks. Okay. Okay, Cindy.
All right. Thank you, Cindy.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to the next email that I have here.
Okay.
And Sylvia is 54 years old, 5'7", weighs 150 pounds. She's been purchasing product, but she doesn't think she's taking it right. And she wants to know your full protocol. So she has had rheumatoid arthritis for 24 years and triple negative hormone breast cancer in 2019, which she did undergo chemo treatments for. She's been on prednisone for 24 years. She has peripheral neuropathy in her hands and the soles of her feet burn. She has osteopenia, varicose veins and spider veins. She bruises throughout her legs and the bruises just won't go away. A darkening of skin around her ankles and her eyes. And she gets blood spots on her arms from a simple scrape or scratch. And in order to deal with all this, she has a bad habit of at least 3 shots of tequila nightly and fears that it's not helping these issues either.
Okay. Well, she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. Okay. No fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And when she has an urge to have her 3 ounces of tequila in the evening, I'd have her cut it to 1 ounce and mix it in some of our plant minerals or liquid plant minerals or something like that. And the goal here is to, over a period of weeks or months, get off the tequila. Okay, I'd rather have her, if she wants to drink alcohol, I'd rather have her drink, say, 2 ounces of red wine, okay, as opposed to tequila. At any rate, I also want her to, in addition to getting rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then I do want her, because she has peripheral neuropathies, okay, things going on down in her feet and legs and so forth, and she probably has a back issue. She got rheumatoid arthritis. So I do want her to, again, I want her to take at 150 pounds, I want her to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, the full dose thing twice a day. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They will support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc, between vertebrae, bone, makes the bone itself. Also the immune system in the bone marrow cavity. I also want her to take the collagen peptides, a scoop of that in her morning drink, a scoop of that in the evening drink. That'll also rebuild the bone marrow, which is your immune system, white blood cells, antibodies, red blood cells, platelets, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So that's going to help her immune system. And then because she has rheumatoid arthritis, I also want her to take She's got to take minocycline, which we discussed earlier. She needs minocycline. She needs a 2-month regimen of minocycline, which is an antibiotic that kills the mycoplasma, which is a bug that causes rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis, she should have gotten rid of that in 2 to 6 weeks. If you're having rheumatoid arthritis for 25 years or 24 years, whatever it is, somebody needs to go to jail. Okay, they're using her as a dairy cow and milking her insurance policy because it's not autoimmune. It's not a genetic thing. It's very simple infection on top of a nutritional deficiency. Okay, the peripheral neuropathies, what we've already discussed will help get rid of those because it's going to rebuild her disc between the vertebrae, also rebuild her skull. She may have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing her spinal cord, but she certainly has peripheral neuropathies. And see, she got the vein stuff going on. Again, the MSM and the collagen peptides will help there. The bruising will be helped by all this. And the blood clots will be helped by all this because part of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, there are nutrients in there that prevent blood clots and prevent all this bleeding and bruising. These are nutritional deficiencies. They're not caused by allergies or anything like that. They're caused by simple nutritional deficiencies. And sometimes it's because malabsorption, okay, because of gluten. And sometimes it's caused by just overt deficiency. And sometimes in her case, I believe it's caused by both, okay? But all this is reversible, but she's got to be on top of it. She's got to get rid of all the bad stuff and do all the good stuff. And of course, you're going to post this. And so she's going to, and you're going to email her back so she gets all this information.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to the first question that we had in the comments here. And Gianna would like to know, she is, well, she already knows. She's 40 years old, 5 foot tall. Not quite sure what her weight is, but she does want to lose weight. And oh, she's asking for a friend, not her. Sorry about that. She has high blood pressure. The doctor says her gallbladder needs removed and wants to know what she can do to keep her gallbladder.
Okay, so you say she weighs what?
She doesn't have a weight, but if she's 5 foot tall and she wants to lose weight, let's just say we're going for 150 to 200 pounds. Okay.
All right, so get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. I'd have her take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. MSM, 2 bottles a month, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I want her to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day. There'll be 2 bottles a month, so take 3 twice a day. They'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And if she, let's see here, is on medication for high blood pressure, she should actually not cold turkey off the medication, but as the blood pressure drops, she can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Then the gallbladder, we have what we call the gallbladder in a bottle. It's our ultimate enzymes. She could take 2 or 3 of those, say 5 to 10 minutes before each meal with a couple ounces of water. The gallbladder is actually there for a purpose. The bile helps you absorb fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. Okay, very important. It also helps you absorb the essential fatty acids, very important. Okay, and so she needs the gallbladder bottle, which we call the Ultimate Daily. Excuse me, the ultimate enzyme. Yeah, thank you. The ultimate enzymes. Ultimate enzymes. Okay, she needs the ultimate enzymes. I want her to take 2 of those or 3 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes for each meal. The ultimate enzymes, we call them the gallbladder bottle. What we did, we go to the slaughterhouse, we get the gallbladder out of cows, dry the bile, and put the dried bile powder in these capsules. So even people who've had their gallbladders removed, they can use the ultimate enzymes, our gallbladder bottle, to replace the gallbladder they've lost, because the gallbladder has a very important job, okay? And so for doctors just to casually, well, you know, you have pain over there on the right side, we'll just remove your gallbladder. They should go to jail for that. Okay, the gallbladder has a purpose. Okay, and so if you have pain on the right-hand side, is it a gluten issue? Okay, because there's a 90-degree turn there in your small intestines. Okay, the ascending colon goes up from your groin and your appendix all the way up to where your gallbladder is, and it does a 90-degree turn, crosses over to the left-hand side of the descending colon. But if you have a pain in the right-hand side, they always blame it on the gallbladder, and they never say anything about that 90-degree turn, because if you're eating gluten, that's where you get really, really bad damage to the intestines. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach and Shantae. Shantae, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Alrighty.
You're on live with
Howdy,
Dr.
howdy.
Wallach.
Where are you from,
Yes,
Shantae?
Alabama. Well, originally from New York, but I've been down here for 39 years, so I'm from
Okay.
Alabama now.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
I fluctuate between 168, I'm sorry, 162 to 158.
Okay. And then how tall are you?
5'4.5".
Okay. And you said you're how old?
60.
60? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And then do you have any high blood pressure, diabetes?
Nope, nope. I've been on the products for a long time,
Okay,
but I
good.
have a very stubborn digestive system. And the reason I know that is because I look at my tongue very frequently because I know that you can figure a lot of things out through the tongue and the different signs that are on there. I have that small crack with a little bit to the left on my tongue. And so I have had that for a while, and I have been using the I-26. I have been using the nightly essence. I have been basically Dr. Joanne's protocol, the 20-day protocol, but I've kept it going because I've not seen any diminishing of that line on my tongue. So, I've been doing all the different digestive products that we have, and just wondered if you could give me some insight as to what I could do, because I mean, as far as I know, that can disappear eventually, but it's a definite sign that there's some digestive issues, and I've bought every product I think we have.
Okay. Well, let's see here. What you want to make sure of is you're staying away from gluten. Everybody in the household, dog, cat, bird, fish, spouse, somebody who comes to clean the house, do not wash your clothes in a laundromat because you're going to cross-contaminated there. You go to restaurants, you got to let them know that you'll die before you walk out the door if the chef cross-contaminates your food with gluten. Use different utensils, all that kind of stuff. This is very, very sensitive, okay? And so,
Been gluten-free for 8 years.
okay, good. And how long have you had this crack in the left side of your tongue?
But I think I may have had it some before. I'm not sure. I really can't distinguish, but I know it's been years. It's not something new, but it's been
Okay.
something I've been hoping to change with the products,
Okay.
because it's
Okay. Well,
still
what
an
you want to do?
indicator.
Okay. Okay. What I want you to do is, if you're not using it, you need to use our collagen peptides. Get a hold of collagen peptides. Take a scoop in your morning drink. Take a scoop in the evening drink. It's a large canister, and it has the collagen in it, which repairs connective tissue, ligaments, tendons, muscles, skin, mucosa, which is the covering of your tongue and your mouth and so forth. So I would go that direction. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
Nope.
Okay, good.
I'm like loving my body and my health, through longevity. Totally.
Okay,
I
good.
feel like I'm aging backwards and all of that. But every time I check my tongue, I'm like, that's so frustrating. This has got to change. And you would think that it would by now. And so I just
Okay.
thought, I've been looking
well,
at herbal
go-
rainforest. What do you
Okay,
think
well,
about?
Earl Rainforest is a great detoxifier. Okay. What you might want to do is do a hair analysis. Have you done a hair analysis yet?
I have not done a hair analysis,
Okay, well,
but
get our book.
I've been taking the
okay,
minerals and
it doesn't matter what you're taking, it matters what you're absorbing.
that's
Okay.
true.
I want you
That's why
to get a hold of that book. It's called Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. In chapter 10, it tells you how to collect the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it to. Don't forget to check, because the lab won't run the test without the check. And it gives you 2 charts. In 2 to 3 weeks, you get 2 charts. One chart is all the nutritional minerals. The other chart is toxic minerals, lead, mercury, uranium, all that kind of stuff. And so we need to know, do you have toxic metals in you? And then, of course, the herbal rainforest would be good if you have toxic metals in you. And then, of course, also we need to know if all of your nutritional minerals are low, that means you have an absorption problem, which is a gluten issue. And so we get a lot of information from that hair analysis. So I do want you to get a hair analysis. The book is called Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, Chapter 10. And again, you can go to either get it through Rebecca here or www.drjwallach.com. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us know what the hair analysis shows, because that will help us help you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Shantae. And everybody, that is Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. I've got that held up right here. So Dr. Wallach said
That's
this really
it.
fast, and people's like, what did he say? So Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. And that is chapter 10, if I remember right.
That's correct.
It tells you all about the hair analysis, how to get one to the lab that he trusts, and also how to read what you get when you get your results. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to the next email that I have that came in, Dr. Wallach, and it's wanting to know how to treat adult jaundice. So I don't have any additional information, but first of all, tell us a little bit, what is jaundice and what can we
Okay.
do to?
Okay, jaundice is where you get, you look in somebody's eyes, they got yellow eyes. Instead of white of the eyes, they got yellow eyes. This usually means there's some obstruction in the bile duct system in the liver. It also means that you're having red blood cells are breaking down very quickly, that they don't live 120 days like they're supposed to. Okay. And so there's several different things that can cause jaundice. And again, when somebody has jaundice, it's a good idea to get that hair analysis, because it's very, very important. We need to know what's going on in there. And the hair analysis will give you great insight into what nutrients or what's happening, or is everything low? If everything's low, that means your liver's not working. Okay. And you can go to a pharmacy. A lot of times they have a technician there who will do just a quick blood test for you, stick in the finger and put a drop of blood under the microscope and run it and see everything from clotting time to if you're anemic or not. It's very important. And so, but also the blood test, you need to find out if you have something going on in your liver. Do you have gallstones blocking the ability of the bile to come out into the intestine like it's supposed to, from the gallbladder to the intestine? So you can have blockages in the bile ducts inside the liver. You have anemia, where the red blood cells are breaking down. Okay, you could have a chronic viral liver infection. There's all kinds of things. Okay, you could have toxic metals, which are damaging the liver. And so these are all things we need to know. Jaundice is kind of like a fever. What causes a fever? Injuries, infections, parasites. There's all kinds of reasons for fever. Same thing with jaundice. So you have to kind of investigate all of them, see which one or which ones, because you can have multiple issues causing the jaundice. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to, we've only got about 8 minutes left, so let's go ahead and go to our next hand that is up. And Vicky, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you're able to come live on camera with us, that would be fabulous. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi. I'm born and raised in Arizona and 66 years old, 190, 5'7". And I have been taking the vitamins for several years, and I have developed, my hair is falling out. So I'm trying to determine what's causing my hair to fall out.
Okay. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
No.
Do you have any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease?
No, but I have started the cleansing regimen.
Okay. Let's see here. Any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No,
Okay, when you have hair falling out, that tells you that the skin's not getting the nutrition and the blood flow that it requires. So at 155 pounds, no, 195 pounds, did you say?
190, yeah.
195 pounds, okay. So what you do is get rid of all the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye, and oats, no carbonated drinks, even the diet one's got to go. And then I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. You said you're taking the vitamins, but you didn't say anything about the minerals. Minerals make up 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients. Just
I'm
taking
doing
vitamins.
that as well.
Okay, because I heard you say I'm taking the vitamins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. No, I have a whole regimen of vitamins I'm
Okay.
taking.
Okay,
And
do you live by yourself?
No, I have a son that lives with me.
Okay, does he eat gluten?
He does when he brings it into the house, and he eats back in his bedroom and throws it away. So
Okay, does he wash his clothes in the same washer and dryer you do?
he does.
Okay, well, you're getting cross-contaminated. You have a gluten issue. You're getting cross-contaminated in the laundry.
Okay.
Okay, so either he's got to move out or he's got to give up the gluten,
Okay.
or he's got to wash his clothes in a laundromat or something. Okay, he can't be cross-contaminating you. But then, of course, there's the couch and the rugs and all that kind of stuff and the food preparation surfaces. I mean, this is very, very sensitive stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So at 195 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I want you to take the collagen peptides, a scoop of that with your breakfast drink and a scoop of that with your dinner drink. I do want you to take the, let's see here, Beyond OsteoFX in your drink also. A scoop of that at breakfast, a scoop at dinner time. I also would like you to take 2 bottles a month of our hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to give the hair follicles and the roots of the hair what they need to be happy. Okay. If you're absorbing the nutrients, your hair color should come back. Okay. Your hair color should come back also, as well as you'll stop hair loss. That's the healthy, let's see, hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails. Okay, so do that. But then you got to clean up your house. You got to get the gluten out of the house one way or
Okay.
another. So that's an issue that you and your son will have to deal with. Okay.
Okay.
Because he is slowly killing you.
Okay. I'll let him know that.
It's dangerous. Okay.
Okay.
And okay, so give us a call. Let us know what's going on, because what you have is easily reconciled, but you got to be proactive here. Okay.
Will do.
Okay, Vicki. Good to talk to you, dear, and let's hear from you in 2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. God bless.
Right. Thank you, Vicki. Dr. Wallach, one more before we go.
Okay, let's do
So,
it.
Rita has a brother-in-law who is 82 years old. He heard you on Coast to Coast. He has had multiple surgeries and operations for macular degeneration with blindness and hemorrhaging. Doctor's prognosis is negative. What about this doctor? What can we do to support the body's ability to?
Did he tell us how much he
better blood
weighs?
cells? No weight. So let's go per 100 pounds, please.
Okay. Well, let's see here. He needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And the odds are he has osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein. So he needs 2, per 100 pounds of body weight, he needs 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. If he weighs 150, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Okay. And then he needs the MSM per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle. Take 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. If he weighs 150 pounds, he can take 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'd be 2 bottles a month. Then he also needs the collagen peptides, a scoop of that in his morning drink, a scoop of that in his evening drink. And then I want him to have our, let's see here, I do want him to have the Fucoid Z. He can go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. I want him to have the, let's see here. He does need, I said the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month, Fucoid Z. And I do want him also to have our Vision FX. He can go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month per 100 pounds of body weight. And let's see here. I think that covers the waterfront. And so let's hear from him every couple of weeks. I'm assuming he doesn't have diabetes or high blood pressure, but if he does, of course, diabetes, he needs the sweeties and high blood pressure, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And so, you know, let's hear from him every couple of weeks and we'll walk him through this because this is actually quite easy.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And we are at the top of the hour. Everybody, thank you for joining us on Ask Doc Live. Again, get with the person that shared this program with you because they have a vested interest in making sure that you are the healthiest that you can be because, hey, you're their friend or a family member. You know what?
That's right.
I like to keep my friends and family around for as long as possible because I plan on being 120 years old, Dr. Wallach, and want
Well,
to
there
take
you
you
go.
with me. And that includes my co-hosts, Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, John T. McCollier, Dr. Judy Reynolds, and all of you who are listening here and watching this program, Ask Doc Live. If you have never spoken to anybody about longevity and you would like to speak with somebody about what you need in order to find out what's best for you, you've got 2 options. One, you can go to askdoclive.com, use the contact us. Or 2, we have a call team that is available to help you with making orders on what you need. These are people that are for people who have never placed an order before and have never spoken to anybody about our products before. That number is 855-949-7234. Dr. Wallach, until next time, which I'm going to see you before then.
That's right. We got
We
a project
love
we're
you.
working on, dear.
That's right. We've got
Thank
a
you and your
very
team.
important project we're working on.
Here we come,
Everybody-
MS.
I'm sorry.
Here we come, MS.
Here we come, MS. You know, not just MS, Dr. Wallach. Osteoporosis of the skull. We're
Well,
kicking
there
it
you
to
go.
the curb. I did. Let's help others do it. Everybody, have a blessed one. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.